Hey, how's it going, everybody? So my name is P017 or PO17, whichever you prefer to call me, and welcome to my channel, where I make content on CRT TVs, video monitors, and etc., as well as old video game stuff, sort of, with these TVs. Anyways, so this is just a little fun video I wanted to make, basically detailing, well, every single one of my CRTs that I have currently. I'm not going to be including my PC monitors in this one, just the CRT TVs and video monitors that I have. And as you can see, I'm also running a couple games on them just to show you how it looks like. So this is going to be pretty awesome. Without further ado, let's go ahead and start here. So, this is my main TV that I like to use all the time. It is a JVC iArt AV32F485. It's a 32-inch 4x3 CRT TV. The iArt right there basically means that it's just basically a flat JVC D-Series, which is pretty nice. D-Series TVs are well known to have very good looking pictures. This one is no exception. It is an absolutely wonderful set, has composite S-Video and component, and I run basically all of my game systems to it right here. I also have a Super Nintendo and a Sega Dreamcast over there hooked up to this thing, which is really, really awesome. Absolutely love this set. Had it for quite some time. I've also done a lot of adjustments on it, and it is just perfect for basically anything standard definition wise that I throw at it. It's also a 32-inch, so it's really big and really awesome. Anyways, let's go ahead and continue on here. So this is my next little set here. I have this just temporarily set up in this spot, but I just wanted to use this set again just because it was a really nice little, well, video monitor. This is my Sony Trinitron. It's my GVM 1311Q multi-format video monitor. So this one will do 240p, 480i, and 480p, as well as, technically speaking, 600p, so 800 by 600, on a PC, which is really, really cool. Right now I have it running 240p on Super Nintendo. This is through S-Video. So this has composite S-Video and RGB, both RGB-A and B, which RGB-A is a 9-pin, RGB-B is a 25-pin. However, the 25-pin is actually different from those who might know that the RGB 25-pin is also in the PVM 2030, PVM 1390. Unfortunately, this is a different pin out, so you cannot use the same adapter with it. Therefore, right now, RGB-B is currently unusable, but RGB-A is usable. It's a 9-pin little DA9 connector or DV9 connector that you can just adapt from VGA to a special 9-pin cable. You can't just use a normal cable on this thing for that. It's also pinned out a little differently. But luckily they do make them on Amazon. I bought it for like 10 bucks. So really, really nice display. 600 TV line, sharp. I guess it's, well, it says up here super fine pitch, but basically that was their little thing back then. Really beautiful tube. Here, I'll even get in a little closer here just to show you how Kirby looks like at 240p. This is, of course, Kirby's Dream Land 3, by the way, for Super Famicom and Super Nintendo. Yeah. Anyways, down here, you can clearly see this is where, of course, you can show if it's on RGB or on composite or S-Video, and this one still actually has the little flap that covers all the buttons and knobs and everything in here. Really cool too, it even has the little adjustment stick for these as well. So I really like that this set comes with all that still intact, which is really, really fantastic. Moving on to the next set, this is actually my other main set, so I have two main TVs that I use quite often. This is one of them. This is my Samsung TXR2678WH, and it is a flat, wide HD CRT. So this is 16 by 9 in terms of its aspect ratio, and I use this a lot for anything HD gaming wise, or Blu-rays and other DVD movies and whatnot. So this is perfect for that. So as you can see right here on my Switch, I'm running Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble, and it is fantastic. It's currently running at 480p on this thing. Interesting thing to note, this is an HD CRT that does have a bit of input lag on it. Not a whole ton, but just a little bit, because this one is a 33 kilohertz scan range only set, meaning it will do 540p and 1080i. So any input below 480p that you put in here, including 480p, will upscale up to 540p. I believe 720p upscales to 1080i on this set, mainly because whenever I did set the switch to 720p, I could see some little bit of flickering, which indicates that it is actually running on interlaced. So overall, still a really nice set. Like I said, 26-inch too, so this is actually the smallest you can get for a wide HD CRT here in the United States. But yeah, overall, it's still a fantastic little set that I have. Yeah, I also run like the Wii to it, and just overall, I absolutely love this thing. It has really good colors, really good geometry, really good convergence for being a widescreen CRT. You wouldn't think it'd have great convergence, but it actually does. So overall, I absolutely love this thing. But enough talking about that, let's go ahead and move on to some of my other sets that I will frequently swap out, usually on this table. So, the first one of them is my Samsung Dynflat TX P1430. This is a 14-inch set I got for free from a friend who gave me this one after I serviced some of his TVs. This is actually a really awesome little set. This has composite and S-video in this. Or not S-video, sorry, composite and component in this. So this is basically comparable to like a Sony Trinitron KV13 FS100. This one I did have to do a little bit of work on because the horizontal coil was failing and it was causing the image to actually squish into itself. So you can fix that really easily just by taking a wire and bypassing it on the board. Overall, it's a really fantastic set. This has extremely good composite video, by the way, so for if you're wondering, if you're playing on like a Sega Genesis, let's say you're using a Model 2 VA3, which is what I have, and that has very minimal composite rainbowing, this is an absolutely awesome set. The comb filter on this thing is just freaking great. Plus component is actually really surprisingly good as well. I mean, for a 14-inch set. So I like to play F-Zero GX and stuff like that on my GameCube through component video on this TV. This one here we're not going to talk about too much. This is actually a Sylvania that I recently got, and I'm actually doing a little bit of work too, as you can see there. I actually need some convergence strips for this thing, so I'll eventually get that later. And I'm looking for a service remote for this thing. So this Sylvania, let me go ahead and see if I can get the model number. I believe it is a CT202SL8, if I recall. Yep. And there is technically a Magnavox version of this exact same set that has a service manual online. I don't remember the Magnavox name, but basically I'm trying to source a service remote for this thing, and I cannot for the life of me figure out what that is. So if anybody knows, please tell me. Next up, down here, this is a really cool one. This is a Panasonic WVCM 1480. So this is supposedly a high-end security monitor. 750 TV lines. It's also a dot mask as opposed to your usual standard slot tubes or even a Trinitron aperture grill. Really, really, really nice. The only downside with this one is unfortunately this one came a little bit broken during shipping. So I had to fix that a little bit, but other than that, this has been an absolutely wonderful, wonderful little 14-inch video monitor. Like I said, it's a dot mask, has composite and S-video in it, and it looks absolutely fantastic. I like to use this for watching VHS tapes, or just playing 240p whenever I want to have that more dot shadow mask display, as opposed to your standard slot mask. So this is really awesome, and I might actually make some more videos on this comparing dot, slot, and aperture grill screens. So that'll be pretty neat to do. Moving on. This is my first CRT that I got when I was getting back into this sort of stuff. So this is a Samsung Dynflat TXL 1491F, and this is an early Dynflat model, as you can tell by the black, well, the black look, as well as the little Dynflat logo right there. It's a pretty neat little set. It's composite only. I believe it can be RGB modded, and I think actually that Dynflat 2 can be RGB modded as well. This has a pretty decent screen, really good convergence, pretty good geometry. Unfortunately, it's not that adjustable. This one does have a little quirk. We're trying to turn it on. Sometimes it takes a few tries, but once it does kick on, it's actually a pretty nice little set. This has probably one of the best audio I've ever heard out of any CRT as well. Down here, you might see there's a little turbo button, and that basically just boosts all the audio. But it actually sounds surprisingly good, even better than the later Dynflats are. So this is a really nice little TV. I haven't really seen very many people have the same set as this one. In fact, there is actually a video online a long time ago showing somebody blowing up one of these things. But other than that, this is just a nice little set that I've had for a long while, and I intend to keep it because, like I said, it was one of my first ones. This here next to it, it's its bigger, younger brother. This is an extremely good Samsung Dynflat. It's a TXR 2435, 24-inch, has composite, S-Video, and component, and it is just freaking sharp as heck. This is an absolutely awesome set that I love to death to play video games on. Being 24-inch too, it's still pretty big, but not that big in terms of its carry weight and everything like that. It's actually surprisingly light for its size. But overall, the picture is just fantastic. Whoever had this before me took really good care of this TV, and I absolutely love it. Really neat feature about this one has a crap load of adjustments, including my favorite adjustment, chroma delay. For those who don't know, chroma delay is basically whenever you have like an S-Video set, you overlay chroma on top of the picture, which is Luma, and depending on the delay, it'll shift the colors left or right. So what you want to do is you want to get the colors perfectly in the middle, and if it's not, well, it's going to have a little bit of bleed over, whether it's going to the left or to the right. This, you can adjust that with, and it's freaking awesome. Same with this one, you can do the same on there. So these ones have a crap load of adjustments. It even has G2 voltage adjustment built into the service menu. So that's awesome. So look for one of these sets if you want a lot of adjustments to do. Just be careful, these Samsung Dynflats do have cheaper built components in them, so capacitors do go bad prematurely on them, so you do just want to be careful. But I absolutely love that set. My next one is actually one of my first video monitors I've ever gotten. This is an Elmo ECM 1403X in white, has composite and S-Video, and it was intended to be a security monitor. This one, the only downside with this, it has really crappy audio, and the buttons are kind of a little wonky, but this, like I said, was not made to be anything more than just a security monitor. This one, luckily, does not have very much, if at all, any screen burn. I've had two of its other brothers. When I bought this one, I also bought two more. The other two had slightly more screen burn. That one of them was actually very noticeable. The other one was not. But overall, they all ran pretty well. This one, I've just loved and I kept. And over time, it has just been like a little small, just fun little thing to use whenever I want to. Like I said, though, audio kind of sucks in it, but oh well. And the last one is a new acquisition that I just recently made a video of. So this is the Toshiba MD14H63. This is an Orion set. It is not a true Toshiba. However, this one is pretty surprisingly good in terms of its picture. This one also will only do 480i, and based on what I have heard in the comments, two things. First off, this does have a digital tuner, based on what I can tell, which is why it does not do 240p. And if you do put 240p into it, it will change the video signal to 480i and interlace it. The other thing is this DVD tray down here, so this is a combo set. Does display S-Video based on what I can tell as well. So if anybody knows how to hijack an S-Video signal like that, go into the DVD player to put into, say, like a video game or so, like a Super Nintendo, that would be friggin' awesome, because then you could actually use this for more than just, well, composite. But this one also, being 480i only, I don't actually recommend this for playing older 240p video games like the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. I only really recommend it for either watching DVDs on or playing stuff like the GameCube, Xbox, and PS2 on this TV. So it does have its use cases, but it's not completely versatile compared to, say, some of the other ones that, and all these ones do 240p, 480i, no problem. But yeah, that's currently all the ones that I have. This is, of course, subject to change as I buy and sell and just have fun with other CRTs, or if I get any others from friends who want to have them adjusted as well, come through here. But yeah, overall, fun. I absolutely love to mess around with these things, and it has basically just been my hobby for the past few years. Other than that, though, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Tell me what you want to see more on these things that I have on here. Like I said, I might be making a video here pretty soon on CRT video monitors comparing dot mask, swap mask, and aperture grill in terms of their looks. Now, unfortunately, that GVM is kind of a little bit of an outlier, but we'll make do. But aside from that, thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, depending on what I make.